Hello, kia ora, namaste, maloelele, talo falava, bula vanaka, and welcome to the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament, coming to you live from Papatoetoe in Auckland. My name is Brad Pittman and I will be here to take you through all the action from the last game of this tournament, the women's gold medal final between the New Zealand Development Women and the New Zealand Māori women's team. I'm joined on the call today by Jude Menezes, the Black Sticks women's assistant coach and an Indian Olympian. Jude, we saw a cracking game of women's hockey last night and we'll be expecting another quality game here for the final. The Māori women played in that game last night and against the Pacifica women battled out a good almost draw, which did see the New Zealand Māori women come away through a penalty corner to Tash Brill and book themselves a spot in this final. Now, the development women have been impressive all weekend and find themselves in the final as well. Now, this one's going to be fast. We've just come off the back of a great men's final. Jude, what are you most looking forward to seeing in this clash?
It's going to be a classic clash of youth versus experience. The exuberance of the New Zealand development youth and the maturity of the defense of the New Zealand Maori. So with Tash Brill at the back there marshalling her troops. It's also going to be a good battle of the coaches. Lincoln Churchill coaching New Zealand Development and Tina Belakake coaching New Zealand Maori. So I'm expecting a good contest.
Yeah, as we see the teams come out here today, the development women will be led by Brittany Wang and the Māori team by Oriwa Hepi. The match today umpired by Nikki Hayes and Alicia Anka. Awesome to see Alicia here, who is one of the top umpires currently in the world and does umpire on the FIH World Circuit. So fantastic to see her and well-deserved appointment to the final. Now, as we crack into this game here, it will be a very contrast in styles, as Jude has alluded to. This New Zealand development side have played fast all weekend. They'll want to continue that and they will want to use their speed and fitness to try and get around the defensive prowess and exploits of Tash Brill, who has been an anchor for the New Zealand Māori women's team. She'll be joined around that back area by Claudia Hannam. And as we look at the Māori women's team, we've spoken of Hannam and we've spoken in great lengths about Tash Brill, but if they are wanting to go forward, they're going to have to use their attackers. And I like the look of Bella Ambrosius, who has been good going forward for the New Zealand Māori team. She's played some National Hockey League and the Premier League for the Alpiners last year. And the other one who was going to be instrumental was Brodie Cochrane in goal for the Māori women's team. She's had a good tournament so far, but she will need to keep her sheet clean. Looking at the New Zealand development side, it would be interesting to see how their striker group go with the physicality of Tash Brill. So look for players like Francesca Williamson, who's on hot goal scoring form, Maddie Harris, Hayley Cox, Brittany Wang and the Bannatyne sisters as they look to put some real pressure on Tash Brill at the back. This is going to be a cracking game here, and it is the last game of our inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament here at the Colmar Sports Centre in Papatoetoe, Auckland. Again, it is a pleasure to have Jude and his experience here on the call with me, as we did get off the back of a fantastic men's final, and we are sure that this will be just as exciting for those of you who are following along on skysportnext. Welcome, those of you joining us on the FIH World app. And we have a big thank you to Local Gecko Productions for putting this footage and broadcast together. This is the women's final between the New Zealand Māori women and the New Zealand Development women. As we see the Māori woman taking first possession here, and that is Tash Brill, who we spoke of, and she will be physical, straight to the encounter with Hayley Cox. A fantastic probing pass there, finds Amy Mitchell. You will just see on the broadcast there is a little bit of surface water on the four corners as we have watered the turf here for the match. Just be aware of the effects that has on the ball. Now the development woman playing in the white strip today and the Māori woman playing in the black and red. The Māoris with the first attacking free hit, but that is Rebecca Baker just getting caught in behind Francesca Williamson there. We must make mention of Francesca Williamson. She is the leading goal scorer of the tournament so far and has been in fantastic form. I believe she's scored in every game she's played so far and will be really looking to get her team ahead on the scoreboard. Now, we mentioned Brodie Cochrane in goal for the Māori women's team. She's a young goalkeeper playing her hockey up here in Auckland, originally from Whangarei, but will be asked on if she is to stop the likes of Williamson, Cox, Bannatyne as they come forward, and equally in the other goal we have the experience of Ginny Wilson, who has played many NHL campaigns for Southern, but it is an uncharacteristic mistake there from Leah Hodges, just unable to control the pass there onto the foot, and umpire Nikki Hayes will give a penalty corner to the New Zealand Māori women's team. Now, the game last night, Jude, was an absolute cracker of a game, and it was the penalty corner that set the New Zealand women team into this final.
Yes, I think that's where New Zealand development have got to be really careful, because you don't want to give Tash Brill too many opportunities. We've got Tash and Claudia Hannum who can flick as well, so you don't want to give them a free strike at goal. So Jenny Wilson has got to do really well here.
It's a well-executed penalty corner there. It actually came out through Hannum, who looked for the little reverse stick deflection, and it did go goalward, and by Marika Leonard was the touch towards goal. Well tidied up there by the New Zealand development women. They will be happy with that.
Yeah, it was pretty well worked out penalty corner, and the New Zealand development defense did well to clean that up.
Yeah, it's a penalty corner option we haven't seen executed from the New Zealand Māori women's team yet. And Tina Belkake, their coach, will be happy with the execution there. They may have done some work on it before today's final. As the development women come forward through Maddie Fleming. She's playing out there at right half. She's got players behind, but opts to go forward. Unfortunately, just in front of Anna Bannatyne and Brittany Wang, who has been impressive so far for the New Zealand development women. The New Zealand Māori team will come forward through Chelsea Hepi. She has Tash Brill at the back. And a probing ball almost finds the stick of Leah Arthur Warsop. Unfortunately evades the stick of Claudia Hannum, but we do have Bannatyne again. Looking forward to Hayley Cox. She's got Williamson inside. And a good little touch there from Amy Mitchell just sees away the challenge of the New Zealand development women's side. Now I'm joined in commentary by Pacifica assistant coach. Have you guys enjoyed being at the tournament, Josephina?
It's been great. It's such a lovely opportunity to play with other Pacific players and our guest players from the Auckland and Harbour competition, and it's great to be a competitive team. And it's actually quite nice to not be a minority in a team and to actually play with other people that look and sound like you, and you don't have to put on any act. You can just be yourself. There were a lot of mocks during the past couple of days, but no feelings were hurt, so that's really good.
Yeah, and I remember you standing up on the first evening and saying that we may need an ambulance for last night's game between the Māori women and the Pacifica women, and wow, didn't that prove to be a fantastic game of hockey?
It absolutely did. It was a really good game last night, and thanks to Tash Brill, our little Jamie Lewis has now got a foot that's black and blue, so that was the only need for the ambulance last night, and it was actually quite a clean game, if I do say so myself.
I think it was a real spectacle for women's hockey. It's probably one of the top women's games I've seen in certainly the last little while, so both teams should be really happy with the way they played, and again, not only Tash Brill breaking feet, but breaking hearts of the Pacifica women who came desperately close to being in this final here today.
Absolutely. Last 30 seconds, which just goes to show you've actually got to play the full game.
Yeah, now I spoke earlier to your captain, Lulu Tuilatalava, and I thought she stood up really well, and she is one of the more experienced players in the Pacifica setup, but how awesome is it to have somebody like her with international experience being a real leader for these young Pacifica players?
I think it's really great that Lulu was the first Pacific player for the New Zealand Black Sticks, and to have her experience through our team and getting the girls to have experience to play with her and learn off her knowledge as she's growing as well as a senior player. So it was really exciting for them. I'm just excited to see what the exposure of this tournament has done for more Pacific players out there throughout New Zealand, because even though we had a really good competitive team, I'm sure that there are other people in different pockets of Aotearoa who would love to play. and have this opportunity to play with Lulu, and hopefully we'll get some more Pacific players in the New Zealand women's team.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's all about opportunity. We've had the same thing in Māori hockey, where as we see a goal there, I'm going to have to stop talking about that. And in Māori hockey, we have a goal to the New Zealand Māori women's team. A fantastic goal as we see the Go Hockey replay here. Just able to access both sides of the field as it is Grayson Keys-Kumiroa who transfers the ball, and will find Chelsea Hepi going forward at the edge of the circle. And it is Oriwa Hepi who gets the ball going goalward originally, but not cleared, and into the back of the net past the goal of Jenny Wilson, puts the New Zealand Māori women's team up 1-0. The New Zealand development team will have been wanting to start fast, so they'll be disappointed that they conceded early. Now, I'm still here with Josephina, and I love talking about the opportunity we're able to provide. And you're right, we want Pacifica people to see this tournament and see the product we've put on here in this showcase, and pick up a hockey stick, give it a go. Potentially be the next Lulu Toilotalava and Kayla and Tori Vale and leaders in this team for the Pacifica women. So it's a cracking start out here. Josephina, you guys, I'm sure, will want to be back at next year's tournament.
Absolutely. The fun that was had by our team are just making them have these conversations where they want to be more prepared and they want to have more experienced players. So if you're keen, then look us up on Instagram and Facebook. Get a hold of us, because we'd love to have more experienced players and also have other players in our development team for our Easter tournament next year.
Fantastic. All right, thank you, Josephina, for joining me in the commentary box here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being at the tournament, and thank you for the opportunities you give to Pacifica people.
Thank you.
All right, as we continue with first quarter action here in the women's final, it is the New Zealand Māori team who do have the 1-goal lead, and that is Shanae Taylor, who has connected with Bannatyne going forward. She's found Maddie Harris, and it's a fantastic stick save there by Brodie Cochrane, who we did talk about earlier in the game. Maddie Harris just jumping onto a little turnaround push shot there, but can't go past the goal of Brodie Cochrane. And the New Zealand Māori women will retain their 1-goal lead. Judah, a wee goal maybe against some of the run of play there for the Māori women's team finds them ahead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, once again, experience, right, and finals hockey, a different ball game altogether. So you might see a little bit of just the old heads coming together and playing some smarter hockey, maybe. But it's a long game, still a long way to go, and you'll find this New Zealand develop and fighting back real soon.
Yeah, don't think this game is anywhere near over. We're only midway through the first quarter, and we have seen some action already at both ends of the field after a fantastic little stick save there in goal by Brodie Cochrane for the New Zealand Māori women's team. Does keep them ahead on the scoreboard, but we see the New Zealand development team come forward, and that is Jamie Eads just on the outside of Anahita Hudson. She's got Pilkington ahead of her and Maddie Harris inside the circle. And such is that experience of Tash Brill there, just not giving away a penalty corner. In a good, strong defensive position, but the New Zealand development team do retain possession there, and that is Maddie Harris. Good defensive pressure on there by Anahita Hudson and Grayson Keys-Kumiroa as Kelsey Tenety comes forward with the ball. Maybe just looking to throw the ball into space, but it is jumped on by Maddie Fleming, but Claudia Hannum comes forward with the ball, and she does have Bella Ambrosius up in front of her in the circle. Links up with Tenety, who has Maddie Fleming's attention. She does well there, Fleming, to not allow the infield break of Tenety.
I reckon it will come down to fitness as well. The tired legs will come into the picture here. So I think New Zealand development will do well to actually speed up the game and try to play at a quicker tempo.
Yeah, being a 4-day tournament like this, we'd have very different dynamics, and you talked about the speed and the fitness of this development side, who maybe won't feel the effects of the fatigue as much as this Māori women's team. So they now they are on the scoreboard, will really want to control certainly the rest of this quarter and just maintain that advantage that they do have without losing too much energy.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where they'll sort of keep the ball, keep possession of the ball, and keep their structure as much as possible. So letting the ball do the work rather than running around with the ball.
Yeah, as we see the development team with ball at the back. This is Maddie Fleming, plays the ball forward here to Pilkington, who eyes up Mitchell. Good strong carry there by Pilkington, finds the edge of the circle, but good defensive pressure there by Grayson Keys-Kumiroa, just not allowing Pilkington to get her shot away now. It will be Brill again with ball at the back for the Māori women's team. Happy to just change shape as Keys-Kumiroa goes into the back, into the midfield, and Claudia Hannum comes out the back just to split away from Pilkington. And Tash looking to access the opposite side of the field through Tiana Curry. Does get to her eventually, but she has the attention of two development players, one of them Bannatyne and the other one Wang. But they do retain possession going forward, the New Zealand Māori women's team. I've been impressed by their ability to start fast against this faster, probably fitter New Zealand development side.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good ploy as well, because you need to, throw the first punch in a game like this, and it's good to see New Zealand Māori women coming out all guns blazing. It is a finals hockey, so you've got to really take it to the opposition. I think they've done a really good job so far.
Yeah, and it's it's one of those games where you've just got to leave everything out there. There's no tomorrow. There's nothing to be saving yourself for. This is 70 minutes and maybe a little bit more, as we saw in the men's game, of your last day of tournament. And both of these teams have earned the right to be here, so will want to finish their tournament on a high. As that is a entry ball from Hannum, just jumped on by Marika Leonard there and unable to get past the goal of Ginny Wilson. They will win a free hit and come forward here through Emily Logan on the ball for the development women's side. Yeah, well turned over there by Ruby Meehan, but a double turnover sees Shanae Taylor come forward with the ball. She was a goal scorer yesterday, and she attempts to link up with Bannatyne. She has Williamson in the circle, and that is Eads. Taylor with the ball, just looking through Claudia Hannum.
Yeah, Taylor having a good strong influence there in the middle of the field.
She's a good up-and-coming young player, Shanae Taylor, originally from the Waikato area, playing her hockey up in North Harbour at the moment, and played some New Zealand Premier League last year, and that is Leah Hodges on the ball, who has been good for the New Zealand development team at the back over the tournament as they look to come forward through the right side. That one is Maddie Fleming, just trying to link up with Brittany Wang, but unable to do so. Development women currently have Hayley Cox and Williamson and Bannatyne in front of the goal at the moment. In nice low position, we see Anna Bannatyne just off screen there. But the New Zealand Māori women will have possession through Grayson Keys-Kumiroa and through Tyler Goodsell-Matthews. Both teams just feeling each other out here in the first stages of the quarter. Jude?
Yes, I reckon it's been a bit of end-to-end stuff. I would like to see more structure and with the New Zealand development, because they've got a pretty decent midfield with Eva Zelstra in there as well, and young Rebecca Baker as well. So they've got a few handy players in that team. So I just would like to see a few more connections coming through.
Yeah, it's likely testament to how well the Māori women have started and just disrupting the flow of the New Zealand development team as they do win the free hit here. They're the sort of team under Lincoln Churchill who do like to get into the processes of their work, and no discredit at all to this Māori women's team who have broken them out of this, but it is Brittany Wang who comes forward on the ball, and it is the foot there of Tiana Curry. A great baseline drive there from Brittany Wang. Now, she's one of the more experienced players in this side, and certainly look to her to link up with her strikers going forward as we see the Go Hockey replay here. That did lead up to this penalty corner. It is Brittany Wang on the ball. And just getting outside Amy Mitchell there and able to use her speed to work the baseline, and this ball does just fall to the foot of Tiana Curry. Now, they will have Hodges and Wang at the bracket, and it will be Shanae Taylor to inject the ball. And this is the opportunity to equalise here late in the first quarter with under a minute to go. Yeah, unfortunately there, Grayson Kiskumuro with the unable to walk that one off and look the other way as the hobble did give it away. Alicia Anka originally thinking stick, but Kiskumuro unable to fool anybody when she went to put pressure on the foot. So with just under 30 seconds here to play, the New Zealand development side will get another crack at equalising before the break.
Yeah, well, they say if the ball hits you, you're running a good line as the first runner, so well done.
And it is the experience here of Tash Brill, who just does the clean-up job despite some calls from the New Zealand development team for a penalty corner. So we will go into the break here 1-0 to the New Zealand Māori women's team in the first quarter of the women's gold medal match, the grand final here at the New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament between the New Zealand Māori women and the New Zealand development women, as we do see the Go Hockey replay here. This is the first penalty corner, which is well executed but also well saved there by the development team. The Māori women having a couple of opportunities early in this match, as they did come out strong to try and combat the fast start of the New Zealand development side. And as you see there, more pressure applied by the Māori women's team at the start of the match, and both teams having a couple of opportunities. Neither team really exerting much dominance, but certainly end to end here, as we did see a little play across, unable to be cleaned up by the New Zealand Māori women's team. But Jude, it's been pretty end to end so far this quarter. Expect to see things maybe tidy up a little bit in the second quarter.
Yeah, and as I said, we'll hopefully get a few more connections. Once again, it's the youth versus experience. So as we saw in that last penalty corner, Tash Brill smartly positioning herself in between the player and the ball, so forcing the striker to get a wider berth. And then those are the things that we're going to look out for, is how can the New Zealand development sort of stay out of those contests and try to play around the structure of the New Zealand Māori women.
Yeah, and as I said, both teams are certainly with opportunities, and this is one here taken by Rebecca Wang in the later moments of that quarter. Just her ability to size up a defender and with an in and away dribble, get on the outside and use her speed down the baseline to open up opportunity in front of the goal. Fortunately for the Māori women, there were players there for the development team, so maybe the foot a welcome one.
Yeah, Brittany Wang will be a threat throughout the game, I think, for New Zealand development going forward, because she's got the experience of playing NHL for Canterbury, so watch out for her.
So, just jumped the gun a little there, too eager to get the hockey back underway. It will be through the Māori women of Bella Ambrosius and Claudia Hannum. It's well controlled there at the back by Rosie Bedford for the New Zealand development woman. And she just opts to roll the ball back. It will be Bedford again with the ball, looking for Pilkington, unable to find her. As we see, Rebecca Baker has come on to the midfield for the New Zealand development woman. She and Pilkington worked well together in yesterday's game.
You also seen that Brittany Wang's dropped to right midfield for the New Zealand development women, so they're rotating their strikers and midfielders quite cleverly. But you could expect that of Lincoln Churchill, who's a very, very, very good coach.
Yeah, and you speak of coaches, and it is two very experienced coaches in the boxes for both teams, and we're very fortunate in these teams to have such high quality coaches developing our teams here. That is Brittany Wang, who you spoke of, Jude, and just her ability to create going forward, and she wins her team an attacking penalty corner.
Yeah, she will be a constant threat. And yes, yesterday as well, Tina Belkake made a really big call and a very fruitful call, because she took off the keeper with 10 minutes to play when they were chasing the game. So they had to win the game to go through the final, and it paid off with the Tash penalty corner right at the end.
As we see Wang and Hodges at the bracket here for the development team. well contested by the New Zealand Māori women. And it's really good penalty corner defence there. If you watch what Tash Brill does in terms of cleaning up the layoff there, they got out to the first strike well. The first runner was in a good position, but Tash Brill's work to shut down the second option, and it was a good option in Brittany Wang. So she's in a good low position, making a block tackle on the shot and just not allowing Brittany time to get her shot away.
Yeah, what you want to see in penalty corner defence, they've executed really well by the New Zealand Maori women. It's constant pressure on the ball, and they never ever gave the striker a chance to get their head up.
You see a nice probing transfer here out to Tash Brill. She does have Mitchell outside her at right half, and she will use her as she gets the jump on Pilkington, but unfortunately just gives away the free hit there. They will find a circle entry, and it is Bella Ambrosius just trying to reverse shovel the ball towards the goal. Bella, a very experienced striker for the New Zealand Māori women's side. And this is Amy Mitchell just opting to play forward to Anahira Hudson. And unable to get their way through Pilkington, but Claudia Hannum there, good physical contest on the smaller Rebecca Baker. She will give the free hit away eventually. That's some of the experience we maybe talk about in players like Hannum and Brill.
Yeah, absolutely, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a clean tackle, but there will definitely be a lot of breakdown of play.
Yeah, and this is one of the more experienced players, Oriwa Hepi, just breaking through. Unable to link up there with Ambrosius, but Oriwa has been at the centre of their attack, the Māori woman. She does lead the team again today as the captain, so expect her to create going forward if this Māori women's team are to put more goals on the board.
Yeah, New Zealand Development have swapped keepers. So Kelly Carline did well to put pressure on that ball, getting out of her cage.
Yeah, so Coach Lincoln Churchill all the way through this tournament opting to play his goalkeepers quarter at a time as opposed to the half at a time that we have seen from some coaches. For the most part, purely a decision made by the goalkeepers and what they would prefer to do, whether they want to stay warm or whether it's easier for them to have one stint on in the 2 quarters and then come off again. So, good to see a coach talk and communicate with his goalkeepers and find out what's best for them.
Yeah, absolutely, and keeps both keepers engaged in the game as well.
As we do see a little turnover here through Hayley Cox. She takes on Tiana Curry and does find Pilkington, and she gets it back.
Good save.
Good solid save there by Brodie Cochrane. Does just see the ball falling behind Tash Brill, so gets out there nice and strong and low, and it is a clearing save that will keep possession with her team.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Brodie Cochrane in goal for the New Zealand Maori women. She's only a young keeper, but she's really stood up here and played very well for her team.
This is Bella Ambrosius finding Leah Arthur-Worsop, who finds Oriwa Hepi and will do enough there to turn the defender inside out and win the penalty corner she was after. It was a good cross ball there by Leah Arthur-Worsop, who picked the ball up going forward from Ambrosius. And as we see the Go Hockey replay here, Oriwa Hepi and just her control around the ball there. A little bit of body obstruction, unfortunately, by Emily Logan, will concede the penalty corner. It's kind of one of those scrambles there where neither player had any genuine control on the ball, but umpire Nikki Hayes having to make a decision there as it did get messy.
Yeah, I think Coach Lincoln Churchill would like to see his free man making those intercepts of those crash balls. He wouldn't like to see one-on-one contest in the circle, which resulted in a penalty corner.
Yeah, Kelly Carline will be disappointed there. Tash Brill does have a good penalty corner there, but it has gone between the feet, and it's, as we see the Go Hockey replay here, out to bracket 2, which is Brill's bracket. Yeah, and just trying to drag one foot across to the other as opposed to coming together with the both, and unable to get that one foot in quick enough. So she'll be disappointed, as a goalkeeper, Jude. I'm sure you hate those ones that go between the feet.
Yeah, sometimes those are the hardest ones to defend because you're actually expecting the ball to go either side, and it just caught Kelly, unfortunately, on this occasion. I'm pretty sure Kelly won't be happy with that, and she'll look to make amends.
Yeah, but it is further advantage here for the Māori women's team, and it is 2-0. We are still midway through the second quarter, and that is Emily Logan trying to probe her way through, but cannot make it through Chelsea Hepi, who links up with Oriwa Hepi. And Bella Ambrosius going forward. Just eyes up Kelsey Tenety there, who will carry strong. She's a good physical player. And gets a good push on goal, saved well by Kelly Carline. She'll be happy to see ball back on her kicker after that last one.
Yeah, it's always a relief when you get the next one onto your gear. So yep, Kelly's a very good goalkeeper, so she should know she's made an error there, but she'll get back. I'm pretty sure she'll bounce back.
And we see the New Zealand development woman with a chance to attack through. Emily Logan here, who will have the sideline hit. She opts to roll the ball back and see if they can find something coming through the other side, but it does come back to Logan, who cannot make it through the tackle of Leonard there. Brill with the ball under the attention of Bannatyne, but Alicia Anka gives the free hit out.
Yeah, pretty smart coaching by Tina Belkake, getting Maori defence in a half-court press, so we're shutting out the space basically for the New Zealand development women.
Yeah, and we talk about the strength in the midfield for the New Zealand development women, so that half-court press, just putting extra pressure on those midfielders' ability to receive the ball and really making them work if they are going to receive it, more than likely back out than an option to go forward.
Yes, absolutely, Brad.
We just see that is Rebecca Baker there, and she will retain possession, not able to get past Hannon, but will keep the ball. She rolls out through Emily Logan, who does see Grayson Keys-Kumiroa a little higher up the field than she has been playing. Keys-Kumiroa up in the front, just putting a bit of extra pressure on as she subbed on. This is Hayley Cox here eyeing up Tyler Goodsell-Matthews, and Francesca Williamson will take on Tash Brill. And Williamson just doing enough there to get the ball into a position that Tash Brill was left no choice but to swipe at, and umpire Alicia Anka not happy with the challenge from Brill. A little bit of a sell goes a long way there by Williamson, who just made sure Alicia Anka did see and hear all of what she thought she saw.
Yeah, I think Tash got a little bit more of a stick than she wanted to, and that was enough to draw the penalty corner.
It is Baker on the first, Wang, sorry, on the first bracket, and Hodges on the second. It's another one that maybe Kelly Carline won't feel so bad about herself as she does see a replay at the other end, and it's a well-finished goal off a mis-execution at the top as we see the Go Hockey replay here. Hayley Cox just opting to trap it upright, and that will find between Brodie's Cochrane's feet there to put the development woman back well in touching distance at 2-1 here. The goal finished by Hayley Cox, and they will find play coming forward through Jamie Eads and Shanae Taylor. Unfortunately, a little bit far ahead of Brittany Wang, who has been everywhere on the field except for there. So the Māori woman will just take a breath. It is goal scorer Hayley Cox, who is on ball defending. And this is back to Tash Brill, who does eye up Francesca Williamson. That's a lovely deceptive sweep hit in to find Bella Ambrosius there in the midfield.
I was glad to see this game opening up a bit here, Brad, and with that goal I think it should open up even furthermore. Young Brodie Cochrane could have, I reckon, logged for that penalty corner, because the first strike has to hit the board, so good old-fashioned log sometimes is a pretty easy save to make in those instances. But here once again, keeper caught a good strike, ball straight between the legs.
Yeah, I think maybe reading a little too much into the possible deflection lines of the setup in the penalty corner. And maybe didn't adjust to the breakdown at the top. Unfortunately for Brodie, she has been playing well all tournament, and again, like Kelly Carline, will be disappointed in herself there. But it was a good strike from Cox. It was a firm hit, and she did get it away quickly. So they certainly earned the goal, and it is 2-1. still in favour of the Māori women's team as Rosie Bedford has the ball, looking for Shanae Taylor in the midfield, and that will be back out to Hodges. Those three played their Midlands hockey together, Bedford and Taylor and Hodges, so won't be strangers with playing together. And this is Jamie Eads coming forward with the ball, but just loses possession in the contest there of Anahira Hudson and Grayson Keys Kumiroa, who worked the ball out together.
There's much better flow in the New Zealand developed outletting structure on that occasion, and we need to see a little bit more of that good ball movement, quick two-touch passes.
Yes, we see a good turnover there by Brittany Wang, and she comes forward with a good little bit of skill here. Fantastic poke tackle there by Tash Brill, and unfortunately, it's Hannum who has earned the card. Not entirely sure where she was on the play there. I thought it was between Brill and Wang, but Hannah maybe just feeling like a rest.
Yeah, maybe an off-field incident which we didn't quite catch, Brad, but yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah, but it was great defensive work there by Brill on the play forward by Brittany Wang, but the development team will force their way forward here, and it will be Wang again on the ball for the development team. And she looks to link up with Williamson. Yeah, just takes a quick free hit there, but unable to really open up the circle. There's a pretty regulation, just clearance there by Cochrane in goal. It's a great touch by Rebecca Baker, but only gets as far as Grayson Keys Kumiroa, and that's a lovely turn on the ball by Bannatyne. As Baker comes forward through Maddie Harris on the baseline. Rebecca Baker unable to find her shot there as the ball only makes it as far as Emily Logan, and she will work the penalty corner against Tash Brill. Interesting little scramble in there, just neither team able to jump on it as we do see the Go Hockey replay. And this is the free hit here, rolled down to Maddie Harris. And this is the option in front there that just didn't quite fall. Rebecca Baker not able to get a good shot, and a little scramble there only made its way as far as Emily Logan, who did work the penalty corner. So it will be the development woman with Wang and Hodges again at the top. Shanae Taylor to inject. Tash Brill just takes one in the body there. Unfortunately, Brittany Wang just hitting the top of the ball there, which did cause it to raise off the turf. And Tash Brill with some encouragement from her fans behind her, just able to carry on in this game. She's tough, and it won't be the first time she's been hit by a hockey ball, so she shakes it off and continues forward.
Yeah, that's right. Tash Brill is tough as nails. She's not going to walk out of contests, so she's going to be there fighting all the way till the end.
Yes, we see Tyler Goodsall-Matthews just look for Leah Arthur Worsop going forward, but it is won there by the development woman and Maddie Fleming, but only as far as Ruby Meehan. He gets the ball back into the circle to Kelsey Tennity. And Kelly Carline just coming out and doing enough to stop the attacking efforts of the New Zealand Māori women's team here. As we will see Brill on the ball. Just throw a nice little crossfield overhead out to Amy Mitchell on the left-hand side of the field for the New Zealand Māori women's team. And it will be picked up by Oriwa Hepi. She will win herself a free hit here. And look to attack the edge of the circle of the New Zealand development team. Not winning the free hit from umpire Nikki Hayes, and this is Rebecca Baker breaking out for the development women's side. And that's only made it as far as Tash Brill, who does another excellent job in cleaning up for the Māori women's team. Things just got a little messy in the last 3 to 4 minutes of this quarter here, Jude.
Yeah, both teams seem to have lost a little bit of composure and structure in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and I guess that halftime talk from both coaches will help regain that composure when they come back into the third quarter.
Yeah, and you speak of the coaches, and it will be a real coaching arm wrestle, as both teams will have 5 minutes with their coaches, coming up here for the halftime break, and both teams still very much in this arm wrestle. Both coaches will be expecting, I think, better execution and better quality out of their teams for the next quarter here. Now, as we go into halftime here, the New Zealand Māori women ahead 2-1 against the New Zealand Development women. As we see the Go Hockey highlights of the first half. This is the well-worked penalty corner by the Māori women's team, unable to find the goal, but they'll be happy with execution. And Tash Brill, who has had her handprints all over the way this Māori women's team have been playing, just finding the cross ball there. New Zealand Development women doing a good job here at moving the ball around. They've probably just fallen away from their structures a little bit, as we alluded to in the last 5 minutes of that quarter. As we see Oriwa Hepi here try and line up Leah Arthur Warsop. That was the first quarter action. New Zealand Māori women who did start fast and probably enjoyed the first quarter, slight dominance, and it did result in a goal here. As we do see Ruby Meehan find Oriwa Hepi, forced to save, and on this shot back, bouncing up and off into the goal of the New Zealand Development woman. Again, Tash Brill has been solid, but Shanae Taylor linking up with her team here has been good for the New Zealand Development woman, as she found Bannatyne and Harris to find a little shot, and good stick save there by Brodie Cochrane and cleared by Amy Mitchell for the New Zealand Māori women's team. Now, this is some of the attacking experience we see of Brittany Wang, and just see her ability to size up Amy Mitchell here with a little in and away drag, get on the outside of her and use her speed to get to the baseline and find the foot there of Tiana Curry in front of the goal for the Māori women's team and earn them their penalty corner. And they have had a few of them. They did score off one, not this one, as it does take the foot of Grayson Keys Kumiroa. But again, is Brittany Wang here, who is causing some real problems as she earns another penalty corner for the New Zealand Development woman. Another one of their corners, they unable to put this one away in the goal either. As this is great defensive work there by Tash Brill. We spoke about it as it happened live. I think both teams have had periods where they've had opportunity, and both teams put points on the board, but it is the Māori women who have had the better of their opportunities here, and they are up 2-1 in this women's final of the New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. Both coaches are very vocal in their chat, as we see Tina Balkaki bringing the Māori women's team in, and Lincoln Churchill on the whiteboard with the New Zealand Development team. They will be, as we mentioned, expecting probably better execution, getting back to their structure and shapes, and trying to get a little bit more control of this game, as it did fall a little by the wayside in the last 5 minutes of the quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. I think I'd want to see a little bit more of structured play from the New Zealand Development, because I think at the moment they're playing into the New Zealand Maori's hands by trying to play too long. So I reckon they need to shorten the passes, try to create a few connections, go in to go out, maybe even extend their right half a bit to go and go from the outside and around the shape, because Brittany Wang's been successful in forcing 2 penalty corners when she went from around the shape. So I reckon they've got to be a little bit smarter against a very experienced New Zealand Maori women who are playing very clever hockey at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and we touched on the likely matchup between speed, fitness, and structure of the New Zealand Development women's side being countered by the experience of the players like Tash Brill and Claudia Hannum. As we come back out into third quarter action here between the New Zealand Development Women and the New Zealand Māori Wahine, it will be the Development Women to hit off through Hayley Cox. Opposite her, a Canterbury teammate in Isabella Ambrosius. They've played a fair bit of hockey together in Canterbury and for Te Waipounamu in the National Māori Hockey Tournament. Jude, what do you think the message from Coach Lincoln Churchill will have been at the halftime break?
I would think Lincoln would want his girls to just keeping to their structure, speed up the passes a bit more, and move the New Zealand Māori women out of position a bit, because at the moment they're running into them a bit, and you don't want to get into a contest. You want to actually play the ball around their shape. So I would say we'll see a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll just be expecting his team to avoid the congestion where they need to. You know, they don't need to get into this physical contest with the Māori women's team, and it's not one he'll want them to play. He'll expect better ball movement, make them run, especially off the ball, and then use their fitness in the later parts of each quarter to really punish them on the scoreboard. As we see Leah Hodges come forward here with the ball under the attention of Isabella Ambrosius. Hodges at the back here, of course, has Hannah Stewart with her, but opts to cut out and go to Rosie Bedford, who does roll the ball back to Stewart. And this is Bella Ambrosius putting some pressure on with Hannum and with Heppy.
This is when New Zealand Māori be most dangerous, when they get opportunity close to the circle. They've got some handy players who can create opportunity, and here's one of them coming through.
Good touch in front of goal there by Maddie Fleming, just to steer the ball away from the goal of Jenny Wilson. You do talk about creative ability, and that is Oriwa Hepi, who has created a lot over the weekend here for the New Zealand Māori women's team. Just unable to link up there. Will be the Māori women's ball, as there was a touch off the development team. Anahita Hudson with the ball there for the New Zealand Māori women's team. A little deceptive ball is picked up there by Shanae Taylor. She's equal to the challenge of Tash Brill, and they make it a foot race into the back field with Grayson Keys Kumiroa, but the ball will beat both of them.
As we can hear Jenny Wilson's communication here, Brad, you can hear her organising her defence really well. I think it's where Jenny in goal is really a really good communicator and organiser, and I think she'll be instrumental for New Zealand development, especially in their defence in this quarter.
Yeah, it's something we touched on as we watched their game over the last couple of days, is Jenny's ability to manoeuvre her chess pieces in front of her and ensure she, in terms of saves, has to do as little as possible. The mark of a high quality goalkeeper is actually the little amount of saves they have to make, if they can communicate well enough, and she does a very good job of that when she is on the field for this New Zealand development team. As we see Oriwa Hepi again break forward through the middle of the field, she will open up and find Marika Leonard. And it just breaks down there, as we see, and has happened all weekend, the New Zealand development team's ability to scramble defend and get numbers around the ball when it does break down like that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic transfer. You can't quite hear it on the mics here, but absolutely led by Jenny Wilson, imploring her team to transfer and continue the ball from right to left, as they did find Brittany Wang. They will roll the ball back through Stewart. She's got Fleming outside her. A little touch pass down to Baker. Baker just losing her footing there, unfortunately, and the ball will roll over the back line. You can already see an improved effort on the ball from this New Zealand Development Women's team, and they've sharpened their passes up, especially as they transfer through the midfield. It was good to see them hit both sidelines there in that build-up passage, but Tash Brill, as she so fantastically does, finds her players going forward, and it is Claudia Hannum Just asking a little bit too much there of Ruby Meehan.
Yeah, definitely the New Zealand development have stepped up the intensity of this game with their ball movement. Just sharper ball movement around getting the New Zealand Maori women running with the ball transfers. And when Brittany Wang giving this ball across.
It is Shanae Taylor who just trips up at the final hurdle there, unfortunately unable to get the entry or penalty corner she would have liked, and it is Tash Brill back on the ball. It's Tiana Curry finding Ruby Meehan coming forward for the New Zealand Māori women's team, but well intercepted by Emily Logan, though, under some pressure from Bella Ambrosius there. Back tackling as she does work her way through a pretty rough tackle there, as judged by Alicia Anka, the umpire on the dugout side of the field. So Emily Logan will have possession. It's a great crunch tackle there by Tash Brill, just giving a little bit of fake space there to Jamie Eads and jumping on the receive, but they will keep possession, and it is again Emily Logan with the ball.
Yeah, it's important that New Zealand development keep shifting, changing the point of attack. They're going down one side of the field. They need to keep shifting the defense, keep transferring the ball, using the centre back, go down the right a little bit more. They're going down their left a bit too much. It's almost playing into the New Zealand Maori women's hands at the moment.
Yeah, it is certainly easier to defend on your defensive right side, you know, playing everything to your forestick and just able to protect the middle. And that again is the physical presence of Tash Brill. Yeah, unfortunately young Jamie Eads is feeling that one. But someone who will love the physical battle comes on in place of her, and that is Brittany Wang.
Yeah, all the more reason to stay out of contest, because you'll avoid those crunching tackles. So let the ball do the work. Shift the ball, go in to go out. So a little bit of disciplined and simple hockey at the moment. That's what's required from the New Zealand development. And once again, they go down their left, and resulting in a turnover.
Yeah, the New Zealand Māori women doing a good job in not allowing the development team to open up and access the right-hand side of the field. They will have an attack here through Tash Brill as we have just under 10 minutes left in this quarter. And Grayson Keys-Kumidor just turning the ball over there through Bannatyne, but she is able to work that ball through Brittany Wang and unable to find Pilkington going forward, so they will turn the ball over and not make it out of their half with possession. It will be Maddie Harris just rolling the ball back there for Rebecca Baker for the New Zealand Development Women's side. She just turns around Kelsey Tennity, but into the stick of Claudia Hannum there. It's Maddie Harris again on the baseline, opening up the goal for Bannatyne, but I think Jude just not low enough in front of the goal there.
Yeah, I reckon could have done a little bit better there, just jumping in front of the defender. And you're right, staying really low. That's what all the striker coaches will be calling out. Stay low, get low in front of goal. Another circle entry for the New Zealand development. They're getting a lot of purchase from the right side of the field as they get another attacking free hit.
Yeah, the New Zealand development woman still with the ball through Brittany Wang. She does look to drive the ball into the circle, but up off her teammate's stick, and it will be the reprieve that the Māori women's team do need. They immediately put themselves under pressure with a pretty hospital pass out to their left half, and it is Maddie Harris again working the baseline, just unable to find her strikers in front of goal.
Yeah, I reckon they should be looking for a foot or for an outcome in the circle. They're looking for the direct pass and for the clear goal, but sometimes it's just easy to find a foot and get an outcome in the circle.
And that's a great turnover earned there by Oriwa Hepi. Sees Kelsey Tenety come forward. She will have a one-on-one with Emily Logan, and not sure if she was attempting to make a pass, but probably gets the best outcome she could have because she had nobody there with her.
Yeah, that's right. There was no one to pass to, so she was very lucky here.
I think she may have seen the pink shirt of Alicia Unker and maybe thought it was red. An attempt to open up the other side of the circle, but New Zealand development team do work their way forward here through Shanae Taylor, who has been solid in the midfield for the New Zealand development women.
Yeah, Shanae Taylor's been very, very good, really displaying some good skills, breaking lines and going forward.
As we see again, Tash Brill opting to go over, just get her team out of their own defensive end, but it only comes as far as Leah Hodges, who will ride out the tackle there of Oriwa Hepi.
Well, just under 6 minutes to go in this third quarter of the finals of this tournament. Really, really close at this stage with both teams trying to get the ascendancy. New Zealand development has got a little bit more of this quarter, I reckon, Brad. They've got a lot of circle entries, haven't got the outcome yet.
Yeah, it will be an improvement from the second quarter in the way they have played, but again, I believe Lincoln Churchill, their coach, will still expect a little bit better of the finishing touches and the pass into the circle and what options they are taking there. They seem to get the entries, but just not any real genuine opportunity to find that equaliser that they are searching for. That's another little mistake there from Leah Hodges. Oriwa Hepi will win the free hit and move off the ball for Amy Mitchell. Just gets the ball back to Tash Brill. Tash will use Mitchell again on the right hand side. And she works the ball past Hayley Cox. And does enough there to just slow the play down. Good slow down foul there by Cox, and it is ball with Brill at the back. He finds Oriwa Hepi in some space. It's Goodsall Matthews on the ball there. Just looking for Hannum on the left-hand side of the field. She will work around Bannatyne and do enough to win the free hit there. Just inside the 25-yard line, they will give the opportunity to attack as Rosie Bedford comes out into the free man role. Fantastic clean by Eva Zylstra. Hannum just going back to Goodsall Matthews and will work the ball across to Brill. Francesca Williamson getting up and close there. Yeah, good pressure there from Brittany Wang. She's played both sides of the ball really well all tournament for the New Zealand development team, and a big reason why they are here in this final. The ball just goes out to Rosie Bedford. She pops it in behind and regains possession, and will use Baker to outlet through Williamson. Unable to get her name on the scoreboard just yet, but she won't be done with about 20 minutes left in this final. It is Baker again, met by one of those physical contests of Tash Brill that we have seen already today. Again, gets the ball into the circle, but not a lot more there for the development team. This time does have Bella Ambrosius in front of her, but just forcing the pass, and it's not one that Ambrosius would be able to latch onto, unfortunately, for the New Zealand Māori woman. This is Bella, and it is Tiana Curry.
Very good composure by Eva Zylstra to work the ball around the left baseline. Still has possession of the ball in the pocket.
Yeah, I know she's played a little bit of indoor hockey with the Midlands program as they went over to Australia at the start of last year, so showing her skills there, just working along the baseline, being composed and keeping the ball in good carry position there. Obvious skills of the indoor game. They will come away through Bedford. She does have Hodges here with her. And again is Eva Zylstra. And as Alicia Anka has done many times in the tournament, willing to give the free hit back the other way for not taking it on the spot. And it's something that she has been strict on this weekend, but expects better of the players. And Anka, of course, umpires at an international level, and will expect no different there.
I reckon it's good to set the standard really high so these girls know where the level's meant to be.
Yeah, with just a minute left here in the third quarter of this women's grand final, we see Ruby Meehan ride out a strong contest there by Maddie Fleming and earns a free hit. The Māori woman just unable to pull the ball in there. You can see fatigue, Jude, clearly setting in, certainly for this Māori women's team, but I think for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Lincoln Churchill changes the structure in the last quarter as he's chasing this game 1 goal down. Whether he brings Brittany Wang back into the striker line because she can be very effective up front, or if he persists with her in the midfield. So let's wait and see what he does in the last quarter.
Yes, we do see Anahita Hudson putting a bit of pressure on Eva Zylstra here. She'll likely be happy just to ride out the free hit.
Yeah, good smart play by Eva Zylstra. Once again, working her way to that left pocket very smartly.
Anahita Hudson will win possession, and it may be one more opportunity for the Māori women's team as the ball falls for Leah Arthur-Warsop. And that will be the third quarter, unable to get cleanly through the tackle there of Leah Hodges. And it will bring an end to the third quarter. The score still 2-1. Still locked in a real arm wrestle and nail biter of a game here between the New Zealand Māori Wahine and the New Zealand Development Women. Both coaches here will want to push for the first 5 minutes of this fourth quarter and assert some dominance on this game. Yeah, and just as we sit here in the third quarter break here, massive hats off to the guys involved in putting this tournament together by the Indian Association, the Pacifica Association, and the guys at New Zealand Māori Hockey for putting on a fantastic event here. And we've seen 4 days of real quality hockey here at Colmar Sports Centre. It's been an absolute spectacle for all of our associations as well as the New Zealand Development Pathway to put on this event, and we are very fortunate in New Zealand to be able to have live sports events and broadcast through skysportnext and across the world through the FIH app. But it's an absolute testament to the work that these guys put on very quickly over probably a 1.5 to 2 month period to put on a world-class event here in Auckland.
Yeah, especially Suresh, Scott, Kevin Fraser, Brett Lever, doing all the hard work to get this tournament going and providing opportunity to all these teams. Also from New Zealand Hockey, Ken Mapleson, Richard Palmer, Colin French, and Regan Bain for their work that they've done in putting together this tournament. So really huge credit to these guys to allow us to play hockey and watch hockey here in New Zealand. So we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, I think it's been a real success. I think everything that has gone on this weekend has been certainly for the benefit of hockey and growing hockey in our communities, which is absolutely what this tournament is about, but also showcasing high performance hockey to our Indigenous and heritage communities. So absolutely hats off to the guys you mentioned there, Jude, and an absolutely fantastic event here for hockey.
Yeah, agree 100%.
You see fourth quarter action here. It's between the New Zealand Māori women and the New Zealand Development women. Māori women will start with possession through Grayson Keys Kumiroa. And it will be Amy Mitchell with the ball. She's just happy to roll the ball back out to Tash Brill. Intercepted well there by Brittany Wang, and we've spoken about her ability on both sides of the ball, and played forward by Pilkington. Anna Bannatyne just unable to run it down there. She does have a good stride on her, but not able to catch that one.
I reckon there's still plenty of time in this game, Brad. The last quarter, there's a lot of hockey to be played, so both teams, I think it will get a little bit frantic now as the clock winds down. Just once again, it comes down to finals hockey. Who's going to be more composed? Who makes better decisions under pressure?
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll that will have been a real talking point at the quarter time for both teams. You're not going to win this game by trying to play frantic and rushing and forcing things you wouldn't usually do. As we saw in the Māori women's game last night, the only way they got to their end result was by continuing what they've been doing, playing structure as the New Zealand development women continue to move the ball around. Don't expect them to go away from that if they are going to be successful here, as Rebecca Baker just does enough to keep possession through Millie Logan. Both coaches have been in this situation before in finals hockey, both as players and as coaches, so we'll be very experienced and very knowledgeable about what information they pass on to their players as the New Zealand development team do come forward here. Unfortunately, a small error there by Rosie Bedford, and again that probably is fatigue sitting in there, Jude.
Yeah, as the fatigue sets in, the errors will creep up, so that's to be expected. 4 games in 4 days, it's not easy. So I think there'll be a lot of tired bodies out there on the field at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just see the teams get into this first little arm wrestle, and I talked about how important this period right after the quarter break would be, and neither team are able to fire the first shot just as of yet, but the New Zealand development women will have possession through Rosie Bedford, who does opt for the aerial ball. Well picked up there by Pilkington on the run. If she can get through Tash Brill, which proves easier said than done. Tash Brill eyes up Leah Arthur Worsop, and she's got Marika Thomas outside her, but Claudia Hannam will step onto the ball. Good little bit of skill there by Claudia Hannam. She's asking for it inside, but Alishanka saying no, just on the outside. And that's the penalty corner there, earned by the experience of Claudia Hannam. I think she knew both players weren't quite 5, so just played on the edge of the circle there, hoping to bait them out of the circle, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, once again, experience just coming through there. Claudia Hannam just running almost to the players and drew the contest, resulting in a penalty corner. Just real smart hockey.
Yeah, and this will be the opportunity for the New Zealand Māori women, like I said, early in this fourth quarter, to push further ahead. Remember, the scores are 2-1. Bella Ambrosius will pull the ball out. They've got Hannam and Brill at the top. Good couple of good bit of defensive work. Firstly by Leah Hodges to run out the drag flick of Claudia Hannam, but a great second shot by Hannam, and it's a willing save there in goal by Jenny Wilson, who has been good again for this New Zealand development women's side. She'll be happy with that. It's she was on in the she's been on in the first and third quarters here, so does get a 3-quarter roll, and she looks to finish the game here, and the team will look to finish strong, and they needed that because it was very nearly the opportunity for the Māori woman to go ahead.
Yeah, Jenny did a good job to get a glove to it, but then the line stopper as well really got a real good touch to it at the end and then worked it out.
Yeah, impressive work there by Rosie Bedford on the line, just facing the goal and on her reverse stick, able to just shovel the ball out of danger's way. As we see a card there to Kelsey Tenety, just an overzealous challenge on Brittany Wang, who, as I said, physical and not easy to take down, but did hit the floor that time. She's straight back up and wanting the ball on the baseline. They opt to go through Zylstra. And unfortunate there for the New Zealand development woman. Bannatyne just unable to bring the ball under control. So Tash Brill will have ball coming out of the back. Great pass there to Marika Leonard. How often do we see Tash Brill just able to hook that sweep it around and find an open player for the New Zealand Māori women's team?
Yeah, it's a real skill of Tash to find those passes over 50, 60 metres.
Yeah. Ball there still with Leonard. She has been working with Ambrosius and looks for Heppy here. Yeah, not a great tackle there by Hayley Cox or by Francesca Williamson. Will give Chelsea Heppy an opportunity on the edge of the circle. Fantastic composure there by Rosie Bedford just to evade a couple of tacklers on her way out of the circle. She's a big, tall girl, so the ability to get low enough there to keep control of the ball around these tacklers is a fantastic skill. And this is Leah Hodges on the ball. She finds Bedford out on the left-hand side, and they've found the overlap there. Striker's just not on the same page, but they do throw the ball back to Amy Mitchell for the New Zealand Māori women's team, and Brittany Wang unable to make a clean tackle.
It's really good work in the press by the New Zealand Māori women, allowing the New Zealand development to go left all the time. So the right striker is holding in field, allowing the ball to go to the left half, and then they're applying pressure. So I think it's a really good ploy. They're trying to prevent them from going down their right side.
Yeah, as we see another little half intercept here by the New Zealand development side. It is Francesca Williamson who will aim up on the ball. Māori woman just happy to go out to Keys Kumiroa and to Brill. She's got Chelsea Heppy overlapping on the left, and just can't find her. They did look. It was the one I had seen, and Tash Brill saw it too, but just unable to link up there. Emily Logan will bring the ball forward for the New Zealand development side. She's got Hannah Stewart here behind her, but will opt to go forward and link up with Brittany Wang, who is unable to keep control through the challenge of Keys Kumiroa. And this is Francesca Williamson, who has been so dangerous, but only as far as Brill. With under 10 minutes to go here, we may look to see some changes being made by Coach Lincoln Churchill. They are still behind on the scoreboard, and as we talked about earlier, Jude, Coach Tina Belkake made this decision at about this stage last night, and it did pay off for her. Obviously her and Lincoln different coaches and with different opinions on how to win this game, but this was the moment that proved telling for the Māori women last night.
Yeah, absolutely. The timing to make the change was around this time last night. Tina made a good call, and it worked in our favour. You don't want to leave it for too late as well. So yes, it depends whether Lincoln even wants to go there. New Zealand development have been having a lot of the ball, so it's not like they don't have the ball with them. So yeah, it just depends on when he decides to make that change.
That's fantastic defensive pressure there by Hayley Cox, the striker, back tackling all the way back to her defensive 25-yard line, and pretty ugly challenge there by New Zealand Māori woman. We'll see Marika Leonard earn herself 2 minutes on the bench.
Yeah, I reckon we'll see a little bit more of these as the game nears to an end. A lot of desperation tackles from some tired bodies.
And again, Tash Brill makes a great clean-up tackle there on Francesca Williamson. And that is Grayson Keys Kumiroa linking up to a great lead from Kelsey Tenety. She will need to get her eyes up here, but she finds the edge of the circle. And that's, yep. Unfortunately there for Stewart, the stick just got caught up on the stick of Tenety, so Alicia Anka awarding the penalty corner. As we see on the Go Hockey replay here, Tash Brill's ability just to play back into where the space is. This is a great ball here from Keys Kumiroa. You see on the bottom of your screen the lead out from Kelsey Tenety. She does a great job at keeping the ball in good protected position. And you see there just the stick riding up onto her arm will win the penalty corner. So we see Brill on the second bracket and Hannum on the first.
Yeah, good transition hockey from the New Zealand Māori women, turning defence into attack and forcing a penalty corner.
Two excellent bits of work there by Maddie Fleming. First of all, to go in and contest the shot of Tash Brill, which is never an easy thing to do, Jude, but then to have the composure just to work the ball out of her circle and make sure it's cleared past the 25-yard line.
Yeah, great work. She's got the middle of the bat as well, and yeah, just the composure and to regain possession and then and transition into attack.
Yeah, and this is Shanae Taylor coming forward on the ball. She finds Brittany Wang. That's a pretty rough challenge there by Grayson Keys-Kumuro, who just found herself on the back foot as Brittany Wang came forward with the ball. Again, we speak of the strength and the exploits of Brittany. She did play some Premier League last year, as we do see the replay from this penalty corner just earned by the Māori women's team. It does go to bracket 2, which is Brill. Yeah, as you said, Jude picks up the middle of the bat, but she keeps enough composure there just to work the 100% option out to Shanae Taylor. Now, down the other end, we will see the New Zealand development team with an opportunity to equal things up, and it will be Wang on the second bracket. No, Wang on the left layoff. It's Hodges at 1 and Bedford at 2.
I think that's where it becomes really important, a penalty corner, having a good flicker, a flicking option. Well, as New Zealand Māori have got 2 actually, in Tash and Claudia. New Zealand development don't really seem to have a potential threat in the PC option there.
You see a fan. Yeah, fantastic bit of skill there by Kelsey Tennity. What I'm also impressed by is the 2 players that were in frame for the New Zealand development women were Bedford and Hodges, who were up the top of the bracket for the attacking penalty corner. And as you see on the Go Hockey replay, they've trucked all the way back, and this is Hodges coming out towards the ball now, and Bedford trailing the whole length of the field. Unfortunately, they do give away the penalty corner, but fantastic effort there by a team chasing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work rate. And that's what you want to see, people chasing back hard. Let's see if New Zealand Māori, what they can do with this penalty corner.
They've added a left layoff in here that they didn't have previously. Tashbro just looking for the back to the injector and that left layoff, and Coach Lincoln Churchill has made the call with just 4 minutes to go to remove Jenny Wilson from the goal, and the New Zealand development women will push forward for the equaliser that they need. It is here through Stewart. She throws it ahead of Maddie Fleming. Again, we talked about this last night, Jude, is this Māori women team can't sit back and just be happy to park the bus. The best attack here is to continue going forward and putting more pressure on the goal of the New Zealand development team.
Absolutely. This is the time to actually keep going forward and maintaining possession if you can while going forward.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Bella Ambrosia. She thought she may have won a free hit. Alicia Anka saying no to that one. And it will be Hodges with the ball. Remember, they do have an extra field player, but probably not. Oh, yeah, there is a player right up high in the circle that I didn't see. Rebecca Baker doing a good job in cleaning up, but they will concede the high free hit.
A bit unlucky there, Rebecca Baker. I thought it hit the shin pad.
Yeah, and this is Amy Mitchell coming forward with the ball. She can only make it as far as the tackle of Shanae Taylor. But the Māori women will retain possession there. They're a little stuck in this right-hand corner, so we'll need something creative to work their way. Probably just happy to sit in the corner and keep possession. Yeah. They are the team that are up. I
think that's exactly what they're trying to do, just keep the ball into this pocket here as much as possible and try to get a circle entry if they can.
It is Hannum on the ball, and she will show her experience here. She just rolls it down into Amy Mitchell. Yeah, desperate defence there by Stewart, and she came running in, just teed the ball over the back line. It's unfortunate here, as it is a tough one to bring under control, but Alicia Anka willing with the penalty corner call, and the New Zealand Māori women have a fantastic opportunity here to put the game to bed. It is Hannum on the ball, and she will show her experience here. She just rolls it down into Amy Mitchell. Yeah, desperate defence there by Stewart, and she came running in, just teed the ball over the back line. It's unfortunate here, as it is a tough one to bring under control, but Alicia Anka willing with the penalty corner call, and the New Zealand Māori women have a fantastic opportunity here to put the game to bed.
Yeah, if they execute this penalty corner well, this could be the final. That's a great save on the line.
Yeah, and Stewart there making up for the mistake made by the penalty corner. That's a fantastic little glancer down for 4 runs, I reckon, Jude.
Yeah, I reckon through the slips.
Yeah, Tashbril happy to win the free hit there. I think she will use her experience there as Bannatyne and Wang do come in and try and affect the turnover.
Yeah, we are in the last minute, so they want to hold the ball into this pocket as much as possible.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Wang there just find herself a little bit tied up in the corner there with Tashbril, but this will be enough to likely end the game here as we are inside the final 30 seconds and the crowd gets vocal up on the balcony at Colmar.
Once again, Tashbril showing her experience, managing the clock really well, keeping possession in this left pocket.
Yeah, and despite their best efforts, Tashbril just able to keep possession down in that corner and will win the New Zealand Māori women the final here at the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament. Now, again, another fantastic showing for women's hockey and an excellent final following on from the men's final that we did see earlier. You can hear there the celebrations of the New Zealand Māori women down in this corner that Tashbril did finish and make her own. And they will be joined by goalkeeper Brodie Cochrane, who played fantastic over the weekend. Commiserations, of course, to the New Zealand Development women, but there is a final and someone does have to come second, and they've been fantastic all weekend. And we'll be disappointed not to have been able to strike the equaliser that they were looking for in that final. But Jude, a fantastic game of hockey.
Absolutely. I think both finals have lived up to their billing, and yeah, it's pretty hard that someone has to come off second best. But yeah, both teams really played well, I think New Zealand Development will be disappointed, but they shouldn't be disheartened because there's some real quality hockey players coming up through the ranks. New Zealand Māori should be very proud of what they've achieved, smartly sort of winning this final. And once again, as I said before, Brad, finals hockey is a different cup of tea, so you could do really well through the whole tournament, but you play semi-finals, finals, it's a different ball game.
Absolutely, and remember just 24 hours ago the New Zealand Māori women only booked their spot in this game in the final 30 seconds of the match against the New Zealand Pacifica women, which could have told a very different tale of today's match. So they have got themselves here, and it is finals hockey, and anything happens between the 70 minutes of the 2 whistles that start and end our game, and a great game at that as we just see the teams exchange final pleasantries. I think it's been a fantastic weekend of hockey, and I'm glad for all of you who have joined me, be it for one game or for all 16, brought to you by local Gecko Productions, who have done a phenomenal job here in the broadcast and coverage through Sky Sport Next and through the FIH app worldwide. Or if you came down and joined us here at Colmar Sports Centre in Papatoetoe, I think you've all can agree you've been treated to some fantastic hockey and an excellent showcase of what our sport is, and certainly in the heritage and indigeneity of our country. So, Jude, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every minute of the last 2 finals calling with you, and I'm glad we could find the champions of our New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brad. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating in this tournament along with you. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and great to have hockey, as we said before. We're fortunate to have hockey being played, and this tournament has provided a great opportunity for all these young athletes to play in this tournament.
Yeah, and as we just get proceedings set up in the middle of the field here, we will be awarding obviously the trophies to the winning men's and winning women's team, which if you have been following along with us, are the New Zealand Māori women and the New Zealand Indian men for the inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. We will also be naming a tournament team 11, the 11 top tournament players over the weekend, as judged by some people who have been watching the games, which will be a very prestigious list because there have been some fantastic players in both the men's and women's sides of the draw now. Unfortunately, it will just be an 11 because we're unlikely to have fixtures for them this season, but as we roll into next year, we will look to grow this tournament team into an operating and playing tournament team. But the players have been vying for those spots all weekend, and there's been some fantastic showings. Jude, who are some of the men's players you've really been impressed with over the weekend?
For me, Charles Ulrich, Nitish Suka, Xavier Guy.
You can hear it now, Julian. Thank you.
Where their teams have ended up, obviously playing for first and second. Picking tournament teams at things like this is incredibly difficult because there has been so much talent on show, and I think as we look on the women's side of the draw,
I also wanted to mention I thought Xander Fraser really played well in the last 2 games that we watched. Aiden Fraser's been fantastic as well. So I think there have been some really strong performances all through the men's competition.
Yeah, it's interesting, Xander Fraser. I think he really stepped up in the absence of his brother in the third game. Aiden succumbing to a minor injury in the third game, and it really brought Xander into his own, and then able to exist, the both of them in that final game where they probably played their best hockey together. Awesome there, the Fraser brothers. So. And on the women's side, we've obviously been impressed by the likes of Tash Brill. She brings international experience, and same with the likes of Lulu Tuilotalava for the New Zealand Pacifica women's side. And there's been a strong handful of players in this New Zealand development side who have really stepped up. They are a young side, but you look at the likes of Jenny Wilson in goal, Brittany Wang, who we have spoken at lengths about, Shanae Taylor, Leah Hodges, who have all played fantastically well for their team, and again, full credit to why they're in this final. As we do see Tash doing her victory lap around the she's doing the Conor McGregor walk as she rolls around the turf here, down into that corner that, as I said, she did make her own. And as we hand over to the boys at the table here, we do have Suresh and Brett and Ethan and Scott. They will take over proceedings for the announcements of our tournament teams and our champions for the weekend. And again, for those of you who have joined us on skysportnext,
that's on. We'll just wait for these girls to hurry up. So that's
thank you.
Off now.
Yeah. I've been joined by Jude Menezes, and we thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, is that you there, handsome? The boy played well.
Yeah. Beat him. So if you're the boys.
$320, so now we're in time.
I don't know what the hell Kevin's doing. No, he was up there.
There he is. Kev! Who's that guy talking about?
He's going to stop it. How do I know when the kicker is?
It's just going on TV. I don't know. I'm pretty close. I guess you guys can do these Bro, check it. Someone's supposed to be really
What's the name? Moana. What's he doing? It's all on the centre, it's just here, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But I've got to do so we want all the teams to have on the field? Yeah, just on the red. As long as it's not to go on the team.
Just to make a tester to see if they can hear you.
Can you hear me? How can they tell?
They'll be giving you a wave.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
She's telling you.
Yep. Okay.
So you
I can't even see when one is. Yep.
Don't touch me, baby.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of a fantastic weekend of the inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament, and I must say that the games played today and those two finals was exactly what we were looking for. Close, tight battles between two strong teams. We couldn't have asked for more, so thank you very much for those teams that just finished playing in those finals. It was a fantastic spectacle. Before we get into things, I'd like to acknowledge the sponsors of this event. Our main sponsor, One Foundation, Keep Alive, MTEL, Onyx, Go Hockey, and Barna Family Farms. We thank you very much for your support to get things off the ground and make this tournament what it has been. This tournament couldn't have come about without a group of people that have been working hard to make this happen. So I'd like to acknowledge the committee for New Zealand Heritage Hockey of Suresh Wallab from New Zealand Indians. We have Kevin Fraser and Brett Lever from New Zealand Pacifica, and Ethan Honeck, along with myself, representing New Zealand Māori. A lot of work has been put into to make this tournament happen. We've been working closely with Hockey New Zealand. I'd like to acknowledge them as well for the support that they've given us through to now and over this weekend to make this tournament a success. So thank you guys, thanks very much. We're going to make this fairly brief and start recognising the people that have made this tournament possible, and none of this could have been done without the support of the umpires over the weekend. So if I can get Colin French to come up and help me present some certificates. It's over here, so. You're going to call out the names, or hey, well, you can. No. So you speak into that one.
Thank you, Scott, and I'll take this opportunity just to congratulate all the participants, the people behind the scenes that made this happen, and congratulations to all the players, the coaches and managers that supported this tournament. In terms of the umpires, overall, thank you very much for your commitment for this Easter holidays as volunteers. I thought overall you went very well. As always, it's important that you go away from here and reflect and do some self-assessment and think about those continuous learnings that you need to do to keep progressing and going forward. So without any order of preference, I'd like to invite Nikki Hayes. Do you want to hold him? Max Beach. Max Beach is the next one. I'm just speeding it up a little bit.
Say a speech.
No, you say a speech. Max Beach.
Can I just stand here or can I go?
Yeah, you can go. Okay. We'll just speed this up a bit, team. Thank you, Max. Brilliant.
Just keep it going.
David Oakley. Just hold it. I'll just give me a show it to me so I can read it. Dan Burt. Thanks, David. Well done, mate. Brilliant. Next one. Bronwyn Robbins. Thanks, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Scott. Cheers.
Bren Duckworth. Alicia Unker. Thanks, mate. Well done. Well done.
Cheers.
Well umpired.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alicia. Well umpired. Welcome
You
back.
got two spares.
And the tournament director, Richard Baggs. Steve, do you want to say that? You all right? Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Throughout the weekend, we've been recognising individual players of the day. These choices have been made by the people who've been watching every single game and literally every single minute from the commentary booth and putting in their input. I think they've done some pretty good jobs of selecting those players. I do have, Go Hockey has been supporting those players of the day with vouchers, and the players of today's games are Claudia Hannum and Carl Ehrlich. Ciao.
Brett, I get you more for it. What am I doing? Just getting the certificates out for the tournament team. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I can read them out if you want, or do you want to read them out? No.
That's easier. Speak it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Speak it up.
Okay, so we've also, we realise this is the very first tournament and it's been put together in a very short period of time, but we thought it was important to acknowledge a tournament team of 11 for the men and women. So we have a squad to name. So when we call out your name, if you could come up, see Brett here, and if you could stay up for a team photo for those of you that are still here, that would be appreciated. And I'll get the women up first and the men, and then maybe we can get a photo of them together afterwards before we finish the final presentations. So could Bella Ambrosius come up, please? Claudia Hannum. Natasha Brill. Kelsey Lomas. Tonya Botherway. Lulu Tuilotolaba. Shanae Taylor. Francisco Williamson. Leah Hodges. Brittany Wang. And Ginny Wilson. Yeah, just get a photo. Is there cameras here somewhere? Yeah, there were cameras around here somewhere. Do you want to take a photo of the team? We'll get you girls to step back with the photographers there and take a team photo. And while they're doing that, we'll get the men's teams named. You want to stay here?
These are the men's things.
So if the men could come up, and I know this person's had to catch a flight back to Dunedin already, so Dylan Thomas. Yeah. Stephen Atkinson. Jacob Su Chun. Xander Fraser. Aiden Fraser.
Can you girls stay together? Just see.
If the girls could just stay out here too, please, along with the men. Nitesh Sukha. Xavier Guy. Max Wyndham Smith. George Baker.
Is it Charles?
And Charles Ulrich. And Lewis Beckett. Yeah, if you guys should take a photo. Go Hockey not only sponsored vouchers for Players of the Day, they also sponsored some vouchers for players of the tournament, and I don't know if the girls are going too far away because they might need to hear this. But a $200 voucher from Go Hockey goes to Brittany Wang. I'll just wait for the men to quickly have their photo, or the whole teams. They get there. All right. And I'll announce the men's player of the tournament. That goes to Nitesh Sukha. Coming up next, we will announce the champions of the tournament for the men first. What I'll do is I'll get the whole team to come up, and I'll ask the captain to say something on behalf of your team. So if the men's champions, the New Zealand Indian team, could come forward and receive this trophy. Bring the whole team up. Oh, sorry. Yes, you got yours.
Can you hold on to that? Just speak to that one.
Speak to that one. Right. Oh, there we go. Just quickly from us, to everyone that organised it and the committee as well, I think I speak for our team and everyone here that on such short notice this is an epic tournament, and I know a lot of my friends, particularly at home, got FOMO not being here. So again, amazing tournament, and thank you for that. Umpires, where have you gone? Where are you? Down the back there. Thank you very much. Obviously, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible as well. People in the kitchen, I had a good hungy on Friday, I think it was. First time in Indians eating a hungy, so cheers, guys. To my lads, again, well played. We're a bloody young side, so to be able to grind that out, it's epic, and it really shows how special this group is. Again, to all the other teams and everyone that travelled, thank you very much, and supporters. Cheers, guys. You're good all weekend. So, thank you. Cheers.
Get your boys to stay there. We'll get everyone to the photo afterwards. Just stay there for right now.
Thanks very much. And finally, but definitely not leastly, that was a great final to finish off the whole tournament. Congratulations goes to the New Zealand Māori women's team.
Do you want to do this? Okay.
Kia ora everyone. I'd just like to say what an epic way to showcase our multicultural country. We've got a Māori team, a Pacifica team, and an Indian team, and just really showing what we have to offer. And I just want to tautoko with what one of the Pacifica ladies said the other night, is how cool is it to, you know, not be the minority today. It's pretty epic. I want to thank the New Zealand girls. Well done on a really hard performance. I think you showed us up on your running a little bit. But well done to us, because we bloody played. We played hard, we played smart, and we couldn't catch you with the running, so we had to do a little bit different. Thank you to the organisers and everyone who came and made this possible. It's really cool, and hopefully that we can just make it something epic in the years to come. So thanks everyone.
Just stay there, ladies. Stay there, ladies. Boys, come. That concludes the prize giving formalities for this tournament. I'd like to say thanks very much once again to everyone. We will be looking to do this again next year in Easter. We look forward to seeing all of you back here again. As we sign out, I'd like to once again acknowledge the New Zealand Māori women as champions, New Zealand Indian men as champions. Give them a round of applause. That's it. Thanks very much, guys.